That's very fine. Good morning, Rotarians. That wasn't loud enough. Good morning. Can I have your attention, please? This convention center, where our meeting is taking place today, was built on the banks of the Pierre-Louis, the Yarra River. We'd like to start today by first acknowledging the traditional owners of Nar, the Wurundjeri Waiworan people of the Kulin Nation. We pay our respects to elders, past and present, and to elders of all First Nations communities from wherever you may be joining us today. We recognize the significance of the Birarang to traditional owners as a life source and a meeting place, and seek to honor a 40,000-year-old tradition of building community and exchanging ideas on these lands. We are here today to talk about the essence of water in the development of a country. So I think these words have meaning both for the traditional peoples of Australia, but also for the Haitians with whom we are working. Now, a couple of housekeeping items. First, this session is being recorded and video live streamed on Facebook from the center of the room. Second, we have a couple of people, Sue Goldson and Caroline, who are circulating and taking photos of the room, speakers and panelists, and anyone who might choose or dare to ask questions. We realize that not everybody may be comfortable with video recordings or photography, and if that is the case, we would ask you to kindly excuse yourself from this session if that presents an issue. We'll be doing a bit of audience interaction. We'll try to leave time for a few questions from audience members during the course of today's session. And there's a microphone that will be circulating a little bit later, which you can make your way to at the designated time. Finally, if you have been using the Rotary Events mobile app during the course of this week's convention, you can find the HANWASH session on there by going to the breakouts that are scheduled for today, Wednesday, May 31st. And you'll be able to look at the session details, and then there's a discussion tab where you can post questions if we're not able to answer your question today. You'll also find the contact info for our speakers as well. At the end of the section, we would ask you to use the mobile app also to do a breakout evaluation, which is extremely helpful for the convention organizers. I want to take a moment also to recognize our Haitian colleagues and all of the HANWASH team members who are joining us from overseas using the Facebook and Zoom links that have been made available to them. We expect that roughly double the size of this audience is actually attending virtually right now, which we're really, really proud about. To be able to provide that opportunity for Haitians in Haiti to join us for this session. So, a show of hands, please. I want to get a sense of who is from where in the world. So first of all, is there anyone in the room who might be here from anywhere in Asia? Could you please stand up? Please stand up, sir. Thank you. Fantastic. Welcome. I want you to stay seated for a moment, please. Oh, please stand up. I'm going to put you on the spot for a moment. So it's part of the audience interaction. So a question for you. In your countries, where are you from, sir? From the Philippines. From the Philippines. And could you tell me what is one of the biggest issues or challenges that is facing your country today? What comes to your mind? Poverty. Poverty. Yeah. Water and sanitation. Of course. And is that food? Absolutely. Absolutely. And how many people live in your country, sir? 110 million. Wow. That's 10 times the population of Haiti. Is anyone else in the room, please stay standing. Is anyone else in the room facing water and sanitation issues in their country? Please stand up. Please stand up. Thank you. Which country are you from, ma'am?
Sierra Leone.
From Sierra Leone. And water and sanitation is an issue in your country?
Yes.
And ma'am, which country are you from?
I'm from the United States, and I figure, even though I don't know about it specifically, water and sanitation of chatting and somewhere in our country.
In fact, access to water and sanitation for indigenous peoples in the United States is a massive challenge. And even in rural communities in the United States, such as in North Carolina, they lack access to safe drinking water. Please stay standing. Thank you. Is there anyone here from South America? Anyone here from Europe? Anyone else here from the United States? Please stand. So you can see that the majority of the room is living in countries or contexts where water and sanitation is an issue. This is not isolated to just Haiti. Now please stay standing. Another show of hands, please. How many of you here feel comfortable talking about Rotary's work in polio? Hands up. Because you can't stand, you're all standing, so hands up. All right. So almost everybody, right? The story of polio eradication, the way it's been done for the last 40 years, has inspired Rotarian imaginations all over the world, has raised hundreds of millions of dollars, and has brought huge, globally respected partners to the table like the World Health Organization, the CDC, UNICEF, and the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. Now, the reason for the success of polio eradication has been largely due to 3 ingredients of Rotarian action. And we're here today to tell you the story of how those 3 ingredients are being used in Haiti in the same way. And that we believe that these 3 ingredients can inspire Rotarians all over the world, whether they're in the Philippines, or in Sierra Leone, or in the United States, to take action in their communities, whether it's water and sanitation, or whether it's the environment, or climate change, or poverty, or homelessness, or racism. The power of using your voice, the power of your generosity and those around you in your communities who may not be Rotarians, but still have Rotarian hearts, and the way in which you volunteer your time and your talents to help those around you. That's the power of Rotary. So now that we've gone through that, how many of you in this room could imagine using these same ingredients to address the challenges not in Haiti, but in your communities? Please raise your hands. There we go. So we can imagine Rotary and we can imagine what's next. This is exactly what Haitian Rotarians have been doing in their country for the last 5 years to confront water and sanitation issues. This is the story of HANWASH, an incredible story of Rotary impact that the entire world needs to hear. You may sit down. So, how does it work? How do we make that magic happen? The first thing is that every Rotarian in this room, every Rotarian in your clubs, every Rotarian in your district has a role to play. It's thinking about, it's causing them to think about, to remember what inspires them. What would they like to do being a Rotarian? Why did they become a Rotarian in the first place? Tapping into that energy. And many of the folks in your club may already be engaged in Rotary. But some of the folks in your club, if you're a club president, you're a club president-elect, and you're thinking to yourself, how can I get these Rotarians in my club more engaged? How can I go out and recruit? How can I grow the membership of my club? Go to the members who are not yet engaged and ask them, why did you become a Rotarian? How can we get you engaged? And then tap into that passion, tap into that talent and that generosity, and provide an avenue for them to support it. And it probably won't be HANWASH. It will probably be something that's relevant to the folks in your communities. And that's how we grow Rotary together. Whether it's advocacy, making your voices heard in your families, in your communities, in your clubs, and in your district. What does that mean? It's giving presentations, standing up at a podium and speaking to your fellow Rotarians to heighten awareness about issues in your community. It's sharing the word on social media, getting the word out there, or talking to local organizations to bring them in as partners or supporters. Because forming partnerships has always been the essence of Rotary, finding ways in which we can multiply impact. Secondly, as fundraisers, giving generously from your pocket, but being able to multiply those dollars with the funds that your friends and family can also bring to the table. And third, as volunteers, your professional talent, whether you're an engineer or a lawyer or a salesperson, a business owner, a physician, a nurse, a student in training. Think about the 200,000 Rotaractors up there who want to develop their professional skills and launch their careers. They can do that through a service project. So, I'm Ryan Rowe, the Executive Director of HANWASH. I'm also a Rotary Peace Fellow, which is the second proudest honor of my life after being involved with HANWASH. The Peace Fellowship program is made possible through the generosity of Rotarians all over the world who give to the Rotary Foundation and support this program to create soldiers for peace in countries all over the world, 1,600 so far. But we're professionals, we make this our career. You all are volunteers, you're citizens in your communities, and the vision of the Rotary Foundation was to create links between Peace Fellows and Rotarians so that we could do good in the world together. And that is exactly what we're doing in HANWASH. We'll take questions a little later, sir. Thank you. I would like now to introduce you to one of the 3 Haitian Rotarians in the room who has traveled a long way to be with us today. Dominique Bazin, the District Governor, nominee for 2024-2025 of District 7020, the founding district of HANWASH. DG N. Dominique is also the proud mother of 3 children and 4 grandchildren. She is also the president of the board of directors of the Peace Building Initiative in Haiti, which is very close to my heart, as you can imagine. Please give a warm welcome to Dominique.
Hello, Rotarians. During these past 3 days, we have lived so many emotional moments, and I'm hoping that HANWASH will touch your heart. HANWASH, a program of pure water and life. In order to understand its importance, we must first talk about my country. Allow me to take a few minutes to introduce to you Haiti. Where is Haiti located? Haiti and the Dominican Republic are both located on the island of Hispaniola. Haiti is on the west, Dominican Republic is in the east. Cuba lies at its east, and these islands, among others, bathe in the Caribbean Sea and the Atlantic Ocean. Haiti is this vibrant, colorful, rich in culture, folklore, beautiful beaches, and high mountains. In fact, Haiti is the Taino word for lands of mountains. For a long time, it was referred to as the Pearl of the Antilles, as it was the richest colony of France. However, aside from its captivating beauty, our land also bred freedom fighters. In 1804, 219 years ago, Haiti became the first Black republic. The slaves revolting and defeating Napoleon's army, claiming back its riches. However, today, it pains me to say that my ancestors' legacy are being overshadowed with darkness. Their determination to build an empire of leaders has long ago faded, and we now find ourselves as the poorest country of the Western Hemisphere. Heavy debt imposed by France to buy our independence, American invasion in 1950, a UN trade embargo in 1991, all these are a few of the foreign influences that have led to this decline. Haiti has captured the attention of the world on more sad occasions than joyous ones, such as the devastating 2010 earthquake that took away thousands of lives, the assassination of our latest president, Jovenel Moïse, at his residence in July 2021. Consequently, political instability and criminal violence have been part of our life. Gang activities have incapacitated efforts to provide food and medical supplies to the one in need. Appeal to the international community is to no avail. Re-establishing the rule of law has been an impossible mission. Horrifying stories of kidnapping and crimes have skyrocketed. Amid all this chaos, the Rotarians of Haiti have not surrendered to panic and fear. They have proven time and time again that they are determined and passionate about being of service to their country. 22 clubs, 800 of us have represented Rotary to the highest standard and led the way to a better Haiti. These are mere words of our own president, Jennifer Jones. We have provided safe water and improved hygiene and sanitation. Is Haiti the only country facing disaster? Absolutely not. This barely Turkey, Ukraine under armed attack, we just heard about Sierra Leone and Philippines. But Rotary has showed us that there is always hope, as long as people refuse to give up the fight. Here today are Fritz, Evenel, and myself, who travel more than 34 hours. We also have many representatives of District 720, United States, to be with you and share our story. The story of a water program which has changed our lives. A story that could be shared by many other countries in need. Ryan, thank you.
Thank you, Dominique. It's always inspiring to me to hear her speak about the story of Haitian Rotarians and the leadership that they're bringing. Underlying those words is the courage and the dedication that they have to transforming the future of their country. And Dominique didn't mention this, but on the slide where we showed the Rotary clubs in Haiti, I was there a couple of months ago. Dominique was there. In front of my eyes, a new Rotary club in Haiti, the Rotary Club of Fort Liberté, was chartered. 33 no Rotarians on stage. In the midst of the violence and the chaos and instability that's gripping the country, we have from Rotarians in Haiti that HANWASH is acting as the glue, because we are convening Zoom calls several times a week and giving them an opportunity for their voices to be heard, giving them an opportunity to hope for a different future, for a better future. And many of you in this room, seated amongst you, for those of you who are new to HANWASH, are American and Canadian Rotarians who are showing up on those calls as well, standing in solidarity with the Rotarians. I would like now to introduce you to Fritz Pierre-Louis. It's his birthday today. Total coincidence. He's Assistant Governor of District 7020, and he's a member of the Rotary Club of Melbourne. And since 2 nights ago, he is the incoming chair, the chair-elect of the HANWASH Steering Committee, effective July 1st, taking over from none other than RI Director Jeremy Hurst. Fritz has very big shoes to fill, but I can't think of anyone better than Fritz to fill those shoes. Please give him a warm welcome.
Boom. Boom. Gudu, 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 gudu. That was the sound of the earthquake. January 12, 2010. Gudu, 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 gudu. My wife was from the state. She was living the great life. 2009 had never been better in a country like Haiti. Thousands of people enjoying their life. Beautiful. January 2010. The 12th of January, I remember vividly, birthday of my son. My wife decided, hey, let's go shopping. We're gonna have a party tonight. Okay. Party is set up at 7 p.m. It's 3 p.m. My daughter called me. Hey, Dad. I said, yes. I am gonna go out with my friends. I'm gonna go over their house to study. Like, great idea. How old are you? 16? Go with your siblings. You're like, no, I could go over that house and do whatever. No, go with your siblings. So they went with their siblings. So she went with her siblings over her friend's house. 4:40. I said, babe, let's go with the kids. She's like, well, you know, we have tenants doesn't come and pay this. I said, no, we need it now. Minutes later, my driver had his car half parked in front of my gate. And I said, baby, look what he did. he obstruct the passage of a vehicle. Obstruction is no good. So he said, I'm gonna go inside and get the keys to move the car. I said, no, I'm an international driver. You'll see what I'm gonna do. So I drove out crazy. And as I was driving out, it was my apartment where I have very free tenants. A lot of them are walking in from work. And I drove out violently. And my wife was like, what's wrong with you? I said, no, we have to go. Seconds later. Hundreds of thousands of Haitians died. Here I am, my people wife that's here with me, in the midst of it. Nothing happened to us. The building where I live, which is my building, my kids was not there. We had the UN mission. Most of my tenants was UN. There were guys in my building. So who am I to be alive now, standing before you? But to appreciate the help, the talent of all the Rotarians that poured into Haiti. And we were looking for the president. He was homeless. I did not understand the word of homeless until I became president. The Rotarians came out helping out, helping everyone that they can. Several projects, Rotarian projects was in place because everyone wanted to help. But those help was not well calculated. It was not discussed. They did not ask the Haitians what they wanted because there was no time. And everyone was acting out of heart. Millions of dollars was invested in those water points. Well, the year of 2018, wow, what a year it was for Haiti, for the Haitian Rotarian. When that theme came, be the inspiration. Standing tall, very rational. He took the stage and he declared his vision, an audacious vision, to bring water and sanitation to every single Haitian of Haiti. I never heard such a word. Drop everything, almost. I met this gentleman named Neil Van Dyne, where I was promoting water filters. And we sat down and then we were discussing and arguing who was right. And then he said, listen, we could put ourselves together and work on water network, water kiosks, small network where needed, water point like hand pumps, springs, and those exist already. All we need is to put our hands together to solve those problems, which is access to potable water for all Haitians. During the help of all the Rotarians and also the international organization, it was all charity. But those charity was not calculated. Like an organization, Haiti, which has to work with the local leaders, to work with the local organizations, to work with the local groups. So they could have ownership of this inspirational vision. We could see here in this picture how the hand wells are broken. In the back, the kiosks are broken. Because those programs was not thought out like this hand wash program that Barry Raskin started. It's not a project. Due to the fact that taking a project, there's a timely fashion. Taking a program like hand wash, there is no end to it. So therefore, this hand wash initiative is a bold effort to bring water and sanitation to 12 million people. So therefore, we already have 7 pilot camions, but within the 7 pilot camions, only 5 pilot camions have started and are accessible. So when you hear about Haiti is in turmoil, they have problems, yes, there are, but there are special spots. But there are several areas that is accessible. So far, $2 million has been collected, and they have already impacted 20,000 families. I don't know if you guys understand what this means. For you to have a child that walk 2 hours, get a bucket of 5 gallons of water, walk back 2 hours. On the way back, anything could happen. Even the water could be taken. When the kid get home, the kid gets picked because that child wastes too much time to get the water and then come back with no water. So there is a huge domino effect when the kids don't have time to go to school. There is there during the month, they can't go to school because of their female issues. The boys, they go farming, they go get water for the farms. So education is very difficult. But this program that we are putting together is not only for us Haiti, but we could share the knowledge. How did we get the 20,000 people water? We have a way that we have. But with you, I think that you could share those knowledge and you could implement it in your area. So I'd like to thank everyone for their time and their knowledge. And also, I have a good friend of mine here. I would love to have their money. Because without those 3 T's, talent is all. Your treasure is extremely important. We would not have been here. I would like to acknowledge my district governor who's here. Deborah, please stand up. From Concord, I have had the opportunity to participate in this beautiful District 7020 conference. She's here with us. I'd like to acknowledge my dear friend, Evenel. Evenel, please stand up. The work is extremely long, and difficult. As the director just mentioned, I have a role that I will be playing in HANWASH, and I will need every single one of you guys here help in order to make this dream become a reality. Thank you all.
Thank you so much, Fritz, for that really, really powerful outline of the work that we're doing. Those three things that Rotarians bring to the table, whatever names that we call them, time, treasure, talent, or advocacy, volunteer service, or fundraising, that is what has allowed HANWASH to work. And for 5 years, Haitian Rotarians have been coming together to build this program for Haiti and the lessons that we've learned. We'd like to offer that to the international Rotarian community, to take this back to your countries and share the work so that you might benefit from this and be able to share this with your colleagues. I'd like to now introduce to you our next speaker. Evenel Osias is a past assistant governor for District 7020 and the current president of the Rotary Club of Pino. I've been having an opportunity to get to know Evenel better these last few months during 2 recent trips when I went to Haiti. And under his leadership, the Club of Pino has been also chosen to co-host the next National Assembly of Rotary Clubs of Haiti, which will take place in 2024, it's a great gathering. And I really admire Evenel's thoughtful approach to the way that he does his work. I don't think I've ever seen him answer a question without taking a moment to think about the answer. And I just really admire his qualities, since I can be pretty impulsive myself. So please give Evenel a warm up.
You have so many things to talk about HANWASH. And after Reggie and Dominique finished talking and Fritz, I thought that I would not have a minute to talk. Right. Good morning, fellow Rotarians. We only 10 people. Please, let's create with that say peace, hope in the world. This is our next step for the Rotary International, right? Let's create hope in the world. Good morning, fellow Rotarians. Wonderful. This is an honor and pleasure and a privilege for me to talk about WASH in my community, Pino, Haiti. And despite of everything happening in the country, even for the moment while we're talking, Pino community is white and safe. And everyone here, if for any reason, if ever you want to visit Haiti, please come to Pino. Pino is located in the northern part of Haiti, and about 99%, I would say, white and safe. And that's why I'm asking you guys, if you want whatever for coming to Haiti, please come to Pino. You'll be more than welcome. Pino is about 47,000 people living in this community, and most likely half of it live in the countryside with small farms, and about half of the people live in the small city And this is that small city that we focus our first HANWASH investment, which is being made. Can you imagine? Can you imagine? Can you imagine? Many people have to leave, have to wake up very early in the morning. $9, just $5 in front of a well to get water into their home. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine? Again, can you imagine someone rolling a 50-gallon drums of water about 30 to 45 minutes to a house or something? Can you imagine all of that? In a small city in Latino, there will be a change. And because of you, Rotarians. Thank you for your support for that. In collaboration with the legal authorities in the community, in collaboration with the Rotarians and Rotaract and the community leaders, the opinion system was created. The opinion water system is created with 16 zones. And I don't want to mention district, so I don't want you to be confused with district and rural. So that's why I say zones. You might still need to be confused because we do have zones in the rural. But I'm talking about areas. And the opinion Rotary, the community opinion, through the Rotary Club opinion, is very lucky to have the District 6940 as a champion district to raise about $300,000 US to implement the water system in Binion. And with this money, this will be able to get the wash system in Binion better. As a past assistant governor, 16 years in Rotary. I remember when I first entered Rotary, the term was share Rotary shares. That's what I'm sharing with people. 2006, 2007. That was the term of the Rotary shares. And if ever someone from the 1960 wants to know from 1960 to 2023, want to know your term, come find me. I will tell you. All you have to do is give me like $2 and this will go straight to the foundation. Because you might forget the time that you entered Rotary and you might forget the term. And I do have a collection of all those things. From 1960 all the way to 2023. And my vision is to see that the community of opinion has access to clean water service. Not only have access to clean water service, but when they need it. When I say when needed, it's 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And as a reality, in the community opinion right now, as I was talking about 16 zones, areas, districts, we do have 13 having access to clean water. And I say having access 24 hours a day, 7 days.
That's water service at home, piped in to people's homes. It makes you feel how privileged we are in Canada and the United States. I was born into that life. The folks in Haiti are having to work for it. That basic human right. Thank you for your testimony. Couple of things I would like to just sort of recap before we move into a little bit of a question and answer. First of all, we can't do this without our partners. And I just want to take a moment to recognize the profound impact and leadership of the work of our biggest partner, which is Haiti Outreach. Haiti Outreach is based in Pignon, and for the last 20 to 25 years has been developing a model of community engagement where they interact directly with citizens to create a sense of ownership and responsibility for the long-term development and prosperity of their communities. In Canada and the United States, we elect leaders to do that for us when we pay taxes. In Haiti, that governance system has broken. So citizens are having to start again from scratch. And that is the work that was pioneered in Haiti by Haiti Outreach, in which we are taking and replicating across the country and have done $2 million worth of investments today. So I just want to take a moment to thank you again, Neil, for your leadership and the work that you're doing and making all of that knowledge and experience completely open source and free to anyone, any organization in the world that wants it. Second thing I wanted to just clarify for those who might be wondering is, how does all this stuff get financed? So when we talk about sustainability, what that means in our context is that citizens are paying a fee for water service. It's a modest fee, just enough to make it sustainable so that the expenses can be covered, but low enough that it can be affordable. And the way that the capital costs of the infrastructure are funded is through, for now, through global grants. So we basically build the system using global grant funding, and when the system is ready to be operated, it's turned over to the local authorities, local volunteer committees, water operators that are run by Haitians, and then they collect fees from the community to make those systems work on a long-term basis. But before any of that happens, it's Rotarians like Dominique, Evenel, and Fritz that are generating demand in the this. That's the behavior change thing we hear so much about in public health and international development. And we're just calling it demand generation. Going out to folks, treating them like a customer and saying, what's the service you need in your communities? How much are you willing to pay for it? How can we help bring it to you? It's that simple. When we create the demand, then we have a global grant that we can go out and raise money for, build the infrastructure, and then hand it over. That's the supply side. So it's demand generation. It's that simple. So we'd like to open this up to questions for a few moments, maybe one or two questions, depending on the level of demand or curiosity in the room. So we do have one floating mic, which I'll hand over to DG Jeff. DG Jeff is from one of our champion districts. We have 5. These are 5 districts in Canada and the United States, which are partnered with Rotary clubs in Haiti and partnered with HANWASH. And each of those 5 partnerships is developing a long-term program in Haiti in 5 different municipalities, each one partnered with a club in a district. And together, those 5 programs are reaching 600,000 people. We're just getting started. So I think we have a question here. Yes.
Yeah, thank you. I had the honor of carrying the Haitian flag at the opening ceremony, and I was mindful when I was carrying the flag of one of the poorest countries on the planet. And I was chatting to somebody next to me who was carrying the Israeli flag. And it struck me that Haiti's been devastated by cyclones and floods quite recently. I listened to what's being said, and $2 million has been spent on a water supply for Haiti. What do you anticipate would be a projected budget to provide a reliable water supply for the Haitian population? If $2 million's been spent so far, what do you believe? Because this is, with the greatest respect, $2 million is not a lot of money. And is there any indication as to what you really would need to complete the job?
Well, that's a honest question. Oh. We are looking for $2.5 billion in minimum 30 years. So we have looked at the polio program around the world. We are basing that program for HANWASH. So the platform that polio have used have brought a lot of success. And ourselves in HANWASH, we are studying and applying the model, not to the T, but at least improving some of the lessons that we have learned from polio and to apply it. And furthermore, when we are talking about $2.5 billion for Haiti, we are also looking at how could we bring down the violence like our DGN just mentioned. And we believe with the Rotarians around the world, this fund will not go to the government. I will repeat, it will not go through the government. The funds will go through the clubs like we always have global grants. And the clubs that are nearest to the water project, they are the ones that will be supervising the project. And like myself on the ground, we have partnered with the District 5130. Could I please acknowledge the members of the District 5130 in the room? Could you please stand up? I want to friends with you. Well, like Happy is around, we had yes, Bob Spengler, probably like, hey, are you from the district? All right, great. Yes, they are the one. How do we have that? Where we get the money, like Ryan said? So the district will go out there and look for money for that region in the country. It's a commune. But the commune itself, our members, the Haitian Rotarians, they are also looking to pledge in 5 years $300,000. So there will be a contribution also from the Haitian Rotarians in the country, like myself, my wife. How are we going to get that? I am not going to use my money. I'm going to use my brothers, my sisters, my cousins, my friends, business owners. So each Rotarian is going to have to come up with $170. So with 517 Rotarians in Haiti, every year we're going to try to do a fundraise, and we should reach in 5 years $300,000.
I see another question, and just before we go to you, sir, I wanted to add, listen, 2 million is a proverbial drop in the bucket, right? So we recognize that. And like we said, partnerships are a huge part of how we build this thing. So we've actually, our next step is to go from 2 million to 10 million. So we have a roadmap to 10 million, actually starting at the end of this year. A Rotarian benefactor who left his estate to fund the large scale water and sanitation initiative has offered us $2.5 million on the condition that we can raise $7.5 million. That's why, right? So, but actually, the World Bank has come to the table and partnering with us through the Haitian government to offer us $3 million on top of the 2.5. So we have 5.5 raised of the 10. So we're making a dance.
I didn't have the privilege of carrying a play, but I'm inspired to be here. I'm interested, I'm hungry to hear more about the process of community engagement that you went through. Community engagement is vital for all projects. It's vital for projects in Australia, in the United States, and everywhere, but obviously very important to your projects. How did you go about it? Did you just consult with Rotarians? Did Rotarians go out and speak to the community? How did you raise community engagement in these projects?
As the current president. As the current president of my club in Pinion, Haiti, and as a 16 years Rotarians, I've done a lot of projects, and I figure out one of the mistakes that all Rotarians do is that whenever we want to do a project, we do not go to the community and ask them what they want. We always do something. We always come with something. And I'm very happy to say that we bring this up now. And then we come up to the point that we know that if we want to do a project in a community, we need to go to the community and ask them what are their problems, then we can support. So to answer this question, yes, the way that we do it, when we do a project, we do have an assessment in the community. So where we figure out where we gather information about what the needs are and what can we bring to the system so that we can start a project. And the only way to engage the community in a project that you are doing is to work together with them, to let them know what you're doing, transparency. And this is basically the same thing for the water project. In the past, the people might not be wanted to pay the bill for water. In fact, they had reason because they did not receive the water. But now they see they have water 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And the Rotarians have meetings with them to explain them the project, get them involved. So this put trust in what we are doing. I don't know if that answers your question.
Well, like, I wanted to add something. That's an awesome question. But when we look at HANWASH, we are data driven. So therefore, we know exactly how many associations is in the commune, how many groups that are in the commune. We work directly with the local leaders, the people that they have voted in function, like the mayors, the AZEC, those are the terms that we use in the country. And we get their buy-in. As we are doing the community assessment right now in my commune, Little Guy, we are using the platform of Haiti Outreach that is data-driven, which we collect the name of the person that lives in the house, the amount of people that live in that house, what kind of diseases that they have in the house, how much money do they spend for water in the house. So we collect those data. Those data are the ones that are going to help us dictate what price should we set the water at, what is the health impact that it is doing a year later, because those data collection that we are doing now, we are looking forward after those people have water to collect those data again. This is going to be expensive, and these have fees unto it. Now, in order to have total buy-in of the whole community, we have what you call community gathering. Where everyone come and gather, we hear them out, we take notes, and also we give them an idea what we are doing. If they do not approve, we don't move forward. So that's what the impact that we are doing in Haiti, and we would like you to take that to your community and assure that all your community are engaged in a project to assure sustainability. That's what we are looking for. Even if the country is under problem, but they will not destroy what they have worked for because we have the 100% value. Thank you.
Thank you, Fritz. Thank you, Evenel. What I love about this is the thoughtfulness that goes into the community engagement piece, the way in which that they approach folks to listen first and think about what the problems are, rather than ordinarily a solution in the back pocket and saying, here you go, let's find a problem, the solution will solve. You see the difference there? And that's super important, is to listen first, to acknowledge, and then to ask folks, what do they think the solution could be? And then to guide them, as opposed to going in there with something that's predefined. Do we have any questions? Good, great.
Hi, I'm from St. Thomas, Eco. We're part of the 720 district. I'm very proud of what you guys have done. What I'd like to ask is, in terms of fundraising, how can people participate in this projects? Have you approached organizations such as the Gates Foundation for matching grant funds for your donation, for example? And how can us in our district and other districts cooperate in getting funds for this project? Go ahead.
Well,
Okay.
So I'm just gonna, so can we just directly?
We want to know how we can collect from you, how we can,
All Rotarians.
how we can involve Rotarians. Well, I must tell you that our district has been doing a phenomenal job, and we felicitate the district governor that is here, the DG that is here, David Kirkby also is there. We all, many of us also of this district 720, and we are all engaged. Many people have been engaged. You have a steering committee that was headed by Jeremy Hertz, our director, now by my friend Fritz. And we have ambassadors. Each club in Haiti has an ambassador. And the district also has nominated area coordinators. So we are all engaged, and we have about 4 meetings a week. The engagement committee, with Liz, yeah, with Jim. Okay, every Tuesday night, every Monday night is the Haiti liaison. So we are all committed for HANWASH, and we would like every island, the zone 33, 34, and everybody else to join us and hold hands with us so that we can keep raising money. We have our champion districts. So I think we have about 5, is that it?
Yeah.
So we just need a little bit more, okay?
How about a world's greatest meal for HANWASH?
Sure.
That will be beautiful. Lindsay wanted to speak? No.
I have a question about this artwork that's out here.
Oh, okay.
It's here and nobody's talked about the artwork. Is it available? Fritz is,
well, like, we have Regina. Is that? What's that on there? Yes, don't look back there, yes, don't look back. I think it's set up.
DG Regina,
Yes.
1640, is she here? I don't think she's in the room, but Vicky's here.
Vicky, where's Vicky?
Right here?
Oh, yes.
Yes, Vicky, DG Regina from the district,
District 6840, Louisiana.
yes. He had donated $500 US to HANWASH. And in return, he benefited all the payment. So we are not doing, we are not doing exchanges, we are selling.
We can sell.
So we are doing, like, you donate and you get a penny.
And that's a little fundraising for him.
Every dollar.
But like, to go back to your strategy, we would love to have you your ideas, your thought process, because one of the things that we are hoping to have everyone that are living here to sign up and give them ideas. How can we make HANWASH stronger, bigger, and bolder? It's not all the time money, but the knowledge that you guys have in your area of focus, you can share it with us.
Right, what we're building here is a common vision, right? And we have the district, District 720. We have the three, the VG lines here, VG Deborah, VG David, VG Dominique. There's 2,400 Rotarians in that district who are supporting it. They've institutionalized HANWASH in their district manual, created a team of HANWASH coordinators, featured it at the district conference. And we have 5 champion districts. We have 2 in Florida. We have 1 in Michigan and Ontario, and we have 1 in California, and Pacific Northwest, BC, and Washington State. So, I mean, 2,000 Rotarians in each district. We got 10,000 Rotarians altogether, plus the 2,400. We're just getting started. But this can be done anywhere in the world. It doesn't need to be Haiti specific, right? It's just mobilizing folks around the continent. Yes, please.
Yes, Vern Henry from District 5710 in Kansas, and I enjoyed your district assembly and campation there in March when I was down there. So hello again. I will return to the board as president of Osias University in July, and the university president Jensen has indicated his willingness to utilize the students of the university in some form of working with HANWASH in the communities of where those students come from. And so I continue to share that with you as part of the plan. I'm not sure what that plan would be, but there is a commitment by me and our district and certainly the university there in Haiti, because I believe, like you do, we need to empower the Haitians, not just send money or just build a well and leave town. So I'll be there a good portion of the time. I'll be here afterwards if you want to talk more about it. Julian Jonas is a close friend of mine. We talk on a regular basis, and happy to connect. He's on our board, and so anything we can do to help the process of utilizing those Haitian students to the areas, their home areas in the rural countries, I would love to see how that goes. So thank you.
Hi, I'm Leslie Oliver from 7710. I also work with Rise Against Hunger in Haiti. We provide gifts in kind to New Hope Hospital. And that's usually medicines and meals, of course. So I'm wondering, we had an emergency relief effort January to April where 10,000 Haitians were impacted with cholera prevention education. And 100 patients were treated for cholera. And I'm wondering, your data, how does your organization track the decrease in cholera with the access to HANWASH soap and prevention education?
All right, great. That's an awesome question. That's why in Haiti we partner with DINIPA, who's the water regulatory body. And they are the one that do all of the assessment. And also they are partnered with Ministry of Health. Ministry of Health, they are the one that does all of data. And all of those data, there's a report that goes out on a monthly basis. Where is the cutoff spikes are. Sometimes the clubs, they'll do some quick impact projects to impact those communities that are affected by not only cholera, but also different type of diseases.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks.
My name is Philippe Lamoise. I'm from San Diego, California. I would like to invite you to make use of my website, my Chicago website, to publish your projects and to help you find partners, club partners and districts to provide funding to the project. This is a platform that has been going on for over 20 years where people can publish their projects. And if you have the projects clearly defined on the website, clubs and districts can go there and look and see how much is needed for each project to be implemented. So it's free to use. I invite you to make use of it.
Just a second, I wanted to add that Philippe Lamoise was the RI representative and the past governor Guy Theodore. He was in Haiti with us, and we are very happy that we can partner with him so that we can increase our network.
Vicky from 6840 that is in southern Louisiana, southern Mississippi. Earlier, we all applauded when you talked about access to so many homes with water for 24/7. If we had a town meeting in my district and that was announced, no one would clap because it's something that we don't celebrate, it's something we expect to be there. So it's something that, like you said, we all have it, we've had it forever. We don't think it's a big deal where we are, but we realize your struggle. I am the incoming governor and have decided to make hand wash my focus for the evening. Made a few presentations to my incoming clubs and presidents on hand wash. And the first question they throw back at me is, Vicky, with everything going on in the world, why hand wash? And they all want that quick response, and the only thing I can think is, why not hand wash? But what would you respond if someone said to you, why, Haiti, why hand wash?
People need water.
Well, it's a prototype that our past Rotary International President started, where they want to start with a country that is the poorest in the Western Hemisphere to see if this program work. And now HANWASH has 2 full-time employees, like Ryan and Ermita. And myself, I'm just a volunteer, just giving my time. Dominique and Evenel, we're all giving our time. So therefore, if this prototype is working, same thing we were saying earlier, how about your neck of the woods? How about your community? Like you just said, a lot of people don't take it important having access to potable water. So tell them that, listen, the past Rotary International President, Barry Racine, wanted to use Haiti as a prototype. We would like to contribute and see this project come a reality. And now we move to other countries. Thank you.
I also want to add about the last comment about cholera. And I think it's a very big concern because sometimes gangs of Haiti corner some cities and the people are not able to even get water. And that is a problem. And why Haiti, I think it is one of the best countries now because of those gangs that are really limiting access to water. And on top of it, we naturally have many places without water. So let's start here and certainly we will widespread the good news, as they say.
I also have an answer to your question because I'm thinking about that, you know, as you're promoting this in your district. I think you hit the nail on the head when you said, why not HANWASH? You know, your rebuttal probably has to be targeted one by one to the people who are saying why HANWASH. And so understand what it is in their hearts that made them become a Rotarian. Maybe they care about animal health, maybe they care about the environment, or they care about polio. Or maybe they just want to make a difference in the world. HANWASH is making a difference. So if that's what they want to do, then HANWASH is one avenue, but we're not here to cannibalize the other 6 areas of focus. Giving to Rotary, to the foundation lifts all folks. If they want to support Haiti, fantastic. If they want to support other areas of focus, fantastic.
It seems to me, coming from a country that happens to be the second driest continent on the planet, the simple answer to the question is clean drinking water is absolutely essential to sustain life. So there could be no more compelling reason as to why you should not provide clean water to Haiti is because it's essential for life on this planet.
But I never got a question. I was at the hand wash booth, and one question that came to me was, you have the wash rag right around the corner. How do you work together? Because it's a legitimate question. How are you different? How do you work together?
So everyone's familiar with WASHRAC. It's the Water and Sanitation Hygiene Rotarian Rotary Action Group. And WASHRAC was there when HANWASH was first conceived. They were there at the beginning, and many of the leaders of WASHRAC have gotten involved in HANWASH in a very, very meaningful way, from our board of directors to our steering committee, which Fritz now leads, to volunteers to take on projects small and large and tasks to help us. But beyond that, WASHRAC has also promoted HANWASH within its regular newsletter. They've given us space to do webinars and reach their audience of thousands of people on your mailing list, Ron, right? And on top of that, WASHRAC also wrote a check, $25,000. The way in which we partner with WASHRAC and continue to partner with them are numerous, and stem from lots of partnership. So we have maybe time for one more question before we start to wrap up some closing remarks. Anyone else?
Sorry, I'm hogging the microphone today. But I have an Interact Club, and we basically did a roundtable with them and discussed what would be good projects for the Interact Club to support. And one of these was water projects in our own community, because after hurricanes, we lack water. So we get filters, and some of our members are actually in 70-20 filters to our community after our disaster. And it might be important to you to think about, if you have Interact Club, Rotary clubs, and say to them, hey, what would you be interested in supporting? Would you support a water project like HANWASH, raise funds for it? We did that with a group in Ohio, and they raised $30,000 in an Interact Club in about 6 months. And with that, we partnered and did a global grant, and it was 110,000 by the time we finished with everything. So with the multiplication power of Rotary and the power of the young people, get them engaged. This is something that definitely will engage them, because they're thinking about the future, and Haiti and other places are just as important with water.
Lindsay, did you have a question?
Not so much a question, but a comment. Just to advise that we've heard from a number of people from 70-20 HANWASH was located in the district. We are supportive. One of my task in this effort is to try and increase the engagement of 70-20 Rotarians and clubs in supporting HANWASH. And we have done that through a number of different ways, but Adopt a Well is one of the programs that we've come up with. And we are, I think, 7 into it now, and 2 more that are committed since we arrived here in Australia. So it's about $205,000 so far that has been raised within 70-20 to support actual wells in Haiti, to get the process going and show our brothers and sisters our shared interest and support in this. We also have a number of Rotarians clubs, Rotary clubs, to that point, who are supporting, can't afford to adopt a well. They are contributing to the administrative expenses of HANWASH to the tune of several $1,000s, I mean, over 10 in any event. And
can lead to Congo. So, anyone who's in 7020 wants to know how to support HANWASH, isn't sure. Give me or PDG Delma and soon to be PDG Deborah. An email and we'll get you sorted. Thanks.
Thank you, Lindsay. Thank you, Jeff, for handling the Q&A. Appreciate that. So we're going to move on to some closing remarks. All right. So I just want to recap what we've heard today, and offer this as a model for the rest of the world, because that's why we're here. We're not here in Melbourne to fundraise for Haiti, even though we will happily take your dollars. We're here to share the story and once again situate Haitians as an inspiration, Haitian Rotarians as an inspiration for the world, the same way that they did in 1804. When we look at the Rotary presence in the country, 23 clubs, 16 Rotaract clubs, over 850 members of the Rotary family, coming together in all corners of the country to support, adopt, and partner with community leaders and citizens to assess what kind of challenges they have, to generate demand, and then create a solution that actually meets their needs. Rotarians in Haiti, in each of the 23 clubs, there is a HANWASH ambassador, and those ambassadors become a focal point for conversations and dialogue with every stakeholder you can possibly imagine that wants to have a seat at the table and a voice in what's happening. And whether that's private companies who are interested in contracts and seeing their businesses thrive, or NGOs who might have some expertise or some model that can achieve social impact goals in an effective way, or citizens who just want to see their community prosper and develop and see a better future for their children. WASH authorities, water and sanitation authorities, whose job it is to be there, provide technical support as engineers, as program managers, operating the strings of government to support the delivery of basic public services in Haiti. Locally elected leaders like assembly people, councillors, and mayors, and finally funding partners, because once that demand is created, we go out and we fundraise from folks like you to make this work. That's the model, is putting Rotarians in local communities at the center of things and having them build partnerships and create a space for conversations and for decision making. So if we look at this model, it's easy to see how Rotarians can transform societies by working together. In fact, it's the only thing that you all have been doing for over 100 years. And so with Rotarians acting as key influencers, you think about a situation in a Haitian community where folks are having to compete for scarce resources like safe drinking water, and you read in the news about the conflict and the conditions in the country, you can start to see how the seeds of conflict can be sown at a very local level when folks are thirsty and they're having to compete for that bucket of water. You can also see how in a country like Haiti, where thousands of people are leaving every week because of a parole program that gives them amnesty and access to visa and working conditions in the United States, think about the folks who are left behind. All the Haitians who are working in offices, for government offices or for private companies, who lost their best and brightest talent in the United States or Canada or to Europe, they feel abandoned. And then there's a knock on the door and a Rotarian shows up and says, let's work together. You are not alone. That's why I do this, guys. It's pretty amazing. So Rotarians then are, with those local leaders and those citizens, helping to deliver basic public services to citizens. And they're supporting government to take on the role that they were elected to do. And then what happens then, citizens start to see that the governments that they started to mistrust are now doing the things that they're supposed to be doing. And that plants the seeds, creates trust, and that is what creates a more cohesive society. And that is what leads to peace. This, my Rotarian friends, is what gives me so much hope that together we can create a better world. Thank you.